leprechaun.
Where are you going, Kevin?
No, isn't it funny? About 9 out of 10 people can tell you where the leprechaun keeps the gold. Hardly anyone seems to know why he would have a pot of gold in the first place. And in many ways is the more interesting part of the story. You see, the fairies, they love to dance, a little bit like myself that way. They're always wearing out their shoes. The leprechaun is a shoemaker, a cobbler, he makes all of their shoes for them. Where do the fairies live? They live far underground inside of fairy hills. So usually the easiest money, the easiest currency for them is solid gold. But why quite so much of it? Believe it or not, it's not because the leprechaun is mean or hoards the gold. It's because the fairies are what is known as compulsive dancers. You play a little bit of music, the fairies, they have to dance. As you can imagine, I'm the same after a couple of pints. The fairies dance so much they wear out their shoes. You'll notice, you often see a leprechaun holding a fiddle or a flute, or depicted holding a fiddle or a flute. Think about it. You make shoes for a living. The people you make shoes for pay you in solid gold. Wouldn't it be a good idea to invest in a fiddle? Unrepentant capitalist. And you may be wondering, Maudie, how do you know so much about leprechauns? Well, that's a very good question. I'm glad you asked. And the reason I know so much about leprechauns is I have often met and conversed with them. I remember the first time like it was yesterday. It was a clear moonlit night, and I was on my way home from the pub, when suddenly I heard a peculiar sound coming from the bushes up ahead. Now, I've always been told to ignore strange sounds at night. The walls in our house were paper thin, but I had to find out what was making the noise, so I stealthily approached the bushes. I parted the bushes, and there before me, I could hardly believe my eyes, was a little man, no bigger than my arm, with his beard tangled up in the bushes. I thought, this is my lucky day. I have found a leprechaun. Every leprechaun must have a pot of gold. Just have to keep him in sight. The gold will be mine. I reached out, I grabbed the leprechaun. The leprechaun struggled and struggled, but I only held on tighter and tighter. I untangled the little man's beard from the bushes. Let me go! Let me go! Said the leprechaun. Not until you tell me where your pot of gold is, I told him. Now the leprechaun could see that I was determined. I mean, look at me. And he didn't know me for untangling his beard. So he said, all right, my pot of gold is buried beneath this bush. Now I was very disappointed, because I'd no shovel. And I said as much to the leprechaun. I said, what kind of a gentleman do you think I am? Carrying around a shovel at this time of night. And if I go home to get one, how will I remember under which bush the gold is buried? The leprechaun had a bright idea. He said, why don't you mark the bush with some of your nice, bright red socks? He's being suspiciously helpful, though. Very helpful indeed. Of course, I knew what the leprechaun was up to. It's obvious. I said, I'll go home to fetch my shovel, you'll move the gold. The leprechaun was highly insulted. He said, I swear by the rain and by the sunshine, by all the colours of the rainbow, I will not move the gold. Oh, butter wouldn't melt. Well, I was convinced. I let the little man go, tied a red sock to the lowest branch of the bush, went home to fetch my shovel. when I got back. Oh, what a sight met my eye. For every single bush in the parish had a bright red sock tied to its door branch. You see, the leprechaun had been true to his word, kept his promises as we all should. He hadn't moved the goal, just made it very difficult to find. The only thing I went home with that day was a big, huge bag of bright red socks. Anyway, let's keep this show on the road. Follow me now into the ferry. Now, modern culture seems to be obsessed at the moment with superheroes. They're everywhere, aren't they? They're in the clothes you put on. We have mini Thor over here. They're on the front of the cereal boxes. They're in the clothes you give your children. They're in their toys. They're in the movies that you watch in the cinema. These movies make billions and billions of euros or pounds or sterling, whatever you like, every year. But believe it or not, this obsession with superheroes is nothing new. In fact, it's one of the oldest forms of storytelling in our tradition. And for instance, Irish folklore is full of bands of warriors who took it upon themselves to protect the countryside and the High King. The Avengers of their day, if you like. And these bands of warriors, probably the most famous band of warriors from ancient Ireland is, of course, Na Fianna. And Na Fianna's most famous leader was the brave, the inimitable Finn McCool. Finn was said to be the wisest man in Ireland, the bravest man in Ireland, the strongest man in Ireland, the fastest man in Ireland, the most handsome man in Ireland. You name it, Finn was the best at it. Don't you just hate people like that? And one fine bright day,